I began informally discussing the progress with friends and acquaintances in late 2013. In the 6 months between October 2014 and April 2015, Other Planes of Here, as the entire project that the speakers are a part of has come to be known, was invited to amplify the sound of 5 events. Most of those who requested the speakers had been following their progress and had expressed interest in using Other Planes of Here for the planned events. These groups had been formed around commonalities, i.e. cultural difference, collaboration, feminism, music, sound, experimentation, or art. These events have had difference as a common factor. Difference was not a predetermining, this is one of those words, predetermining characteristic for selection, but rather one of the factors that emerged as a commonality. This was not an intention, but it was not unwelcome or denied as a result, nor was it surprising. Simply, these are the people within my social and professional networks. The question was how sound and amplification could become a heteronymous approach to art making. Further to this, I wanted to know how my understanding of sound as a space of sociocultural multiplicity could translate in different contexts. I wanted to know whether the sound system could behave like the adaptable object, able to amplify complexity that I imagine it might be. Do not be mistaken that because these speakers are not all that accommodating, they're not very nice. They operate in mono, which makes them the most powerful women choose to play music that excludes this offensive lyrical content. Okay, now how I ended up putting it together. Okay, so there are two almost opposing aspects of the sound system culture that I became familiar with while researching the building of the speaker stacks, and these are mentorship and competition. As a beginner, an artist, and perhaps as the only woman with her own sound system in Australia, I pose very little threat in this very competitive culture. In keeping with the premise of the culture, though, I have received a lot of mentorship, even procuring some of my speaker boxes from the proprietor of the largest sound system in Australia. After making inquiries in the custom-built sound system scene in order to test the waters and see if this is something I could do myself, I researched the language of technical aspects of the culture and made many inquiries with novice questions. I have spent a substantial amount of time researching the physics of sound, learning how speaker drivers work, and understanding amplification and impedance. But don't ask me anything about it anymore because I don't remember. The most challenging aspect has proven to be the final stringing up of the setup, involving many cables and amplifiers, which is all happening back here. It's very difficult. The 3 layers of speakers in the stack have different provenances, each very important in terms of adding to the strata of meaning within the stack. The speakers providing the high frequencies were donated by offered by the owner of the Toad Hotel, John Perring, a music venue. The Toad, as everybody knows, is a music venue that has fostered the alternative and punk scene since the 1980s. The empty speaker box that provides the mid frequencies, which is this one here, was purchased from the Hardical High Power, which is the largest sound system in Australia. It's huge. And he sold me the heaviest speakers, and yeah, they're very heavy to carry. This was procured as an empty box for me to build the speakers within. The speakers which provide the indispensable low frequencies were sourced by none other than Evelyn over here, who is one of the founding members of the Listen Feminist music platform, who put a call out on Facebook to those interested whoever was interested when a music learning institution had decided to discard them, which was very lucky for me, because I am now the envy of many sound system dudes who have worked very hard to emulate the J-Bin scoop construction, which is this here. They are sort of the original kind of speaker that everybody tries to replicate, and they're in complete disbelief. And I try not to tell them where I got them from because I'm scared they'll cry. Once all the speakers were in working order, they were then painted in shades of green to unify them visually. I wanted to do like a gradation, but I couldn't really quite decide. I went for green. I'm happy. It might change, but I'm happy with it for the moment. It was fortuitous that as I was preparing to build my speaker boxes from scratch, which was so frightening to me, the speakers that now constitute other planes of here were provided through the support of these amazing people. Now, I'd like to say some thanks, because part of the sound system, as I explained, the culture is having a bunch of people around you, and I definitely haven't done this all on my own. And for this particular occasion, I'd like to thank Liquid Architecture, Joel Stern, Danny Suvella, who curated FemX. Thank you so much for getting what I'm trying to do here. Westbase. Thank you so much, Danny, actually, for helping me, for getting me to amplify, for having these. Thank you to Marcus Cook for letting me use his amplifier that I've held on to for some time after you lent it to me 6 months ago. Maybe I should buy it. Sam Camus for answering questions from Berlin at 2 a.m. in the morning. Most importantly, my partner Jason Heller, who has been instrumental in helping me string up at each event, and as things have become more complex and I become more bamboozled, he's been really supportive. So thank you.